What is up, Podheads? Welcome back to episode 19 with DJ Easy Zeke, and I got a special guest for y'all today. This is 141, aka Lonner.
Yo, what's up, gang?
Welcome to the show, bro. I'm super happy you could make it. Running fashionably late, but I'm happy we could get to the interview. So I know you're from Charlotte, and typically on Podheads we start at the beginning. But did you live anywhere else besides Charlotte growing up, or was Charlotte the only area you've really lived in?
As far as like me growing up, I did live in Winston-Salem at one point.
Facts.
But I did once I was 10, then I moved to Charlotte, and I just been out here my whole life really. I just been out here and shit, and just been vibing really.
And you lived in Winston-Salem from the time you were born until you were 10, and then you moved out here?
Yeah.
I'm from Winston too, bro, so shout out to the
Oh,
Trick
yeah,
Hall.
hell yeah. Hey, shout out Winston boys.
Yeah, shout out to the 336 for sure.
Hell yeah.
So that's dope. So I know 10 years old was kind of a younger age, but when you got to Charlotte, it being a much bigger city, was that kind of like scary, or like what was that kind of process like when you were moving here?
I mean, really, for me, the thing is like in Charlotte, like when I moved from Winston-Salem and I transitioned to Charlotte, like I had to grow up a certain way because like in Charlotte, bro, like I lived on Betty's Ford Road. Y'all, if you know, you know. Like it's like a hood area of Charlotte, so it's like you kind of gotta adapt to it. You feel me? Like it's a whole bunch of ghetto shit going on all the time. So it's like I kind of had to get used to it, even though I was already a rowdy type of nigga. But it's like I had to get used to it type shit. So it's definitely different from Winston-Salem. But I wasn't scared when I came over here. Like it was just more like I just had to get used to the environment because I was always fighting and shit, bro, all the time, bro. By the time I moved down here, I already got in my first fight in like the first 2 days of going to Charlotte, bro. That's how bad it was. You feel me? But the thing is, I got used to it and everything, bro. I was straight, bro.
Facts.
So
and when you were making that transition, were you already into the music like at a young age, before 10 years old, when you were in Winston-Salem, or did that come about once you kind of got to the 704, aka Charlotte?
Nah, it came about when I was probably like 13, 14. That's when music came about. Like when I was 10, bro, it was just a lot of shit going on, like just a whole bunch of like crazy shit. That was like more of my crazier more area, but like once I became like 13, 14, that's when music came about. Like,
and what kind of sparked your interest in that? Was that like your peers, or did you have anyone in your family, like brother, sister, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, anyone like that was into music as well, or did that just kind of come about just because you knew you liked it?
So alright, so basically when I was 14 years old, I remember that before I was an artist, I actually wanted to be a streamer. And basically what happened was, like, I got bored of it because I felt like I wasn't really transitioning into the way I wanted it to be. So then I already had friends around me that was already making music, so they was just like, yo, you should make music. Because the thing is, I would freestyle, but I would just be joking, you feel me? Because at one point I did make music, but I stopped, and then I went to streaming. But I still have friends that was still doing that shit. So around the time when, you know, I met them, they was just like, yo, you should make music, bro. You kind of hard though, low key. Like the way your voice sounded, the way like, you know, you freestyle shit was hard. So I was like, you know what, I'll do that shit. And I came back to it because, remind you, if you love something, just leave it alone. But if it comes back to you, then it was meant for you. So it was just like, you know, once I got into that, then it was just nonstop after that. Like by the time I was 15, I was already getting hella tracks done. Like I had like my first 100 followers when I was 15.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. And what kind of, you said you were kind of dabbling in streaming a little bit. Was this like video game, like Twitch type of streaming? Or
Yeah. It was Twitch, and I remember I used to just be on that shit all the time and just be playing the game and just, cause the thing is I would watch like other streamers and I thought it was cool to do it, so I would just like get into it and like just start like, you know, streaming every day, but it just wasn't going the way I wanted it to. And then music just came back to me as an avenue, so I was just like, damn, I might as well do this because this is the only thing I got right now. And like I just been doing that for now and just really just getting big off of it.
So when the music came back to you, that was when you were kind of getting into freestyling and stuff, and then your peers were telling you, yo, your voice is like hella solid and you sound pretty good.
Yeah.
So y'all were these freestyle sessions? Was it just like the homies hanging out at someone's house and y'all just had a couple beats on, y'all was just kind of going bar for bar? Like,
honestly, bro, like how we did it was we was just like, I would either call and maybe hang out with them, and then we would just, you know, freestyle all the time. Like I remember this one 19-year-old, like when I was younger, like I was like 15. He came to my house because he wanted to record. And remind you, I wasn't that good at the very time, but I did drop like my second song, which was called With a Stare. And I remember we were in the garage and we was just recording and shit. He was just like, yo, my nigga, you hard as fuck. You need to keep doing this shit. And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep trying. And then like the thing is, like I just kept getting better at it, because the thing is, like once I started getting more into it, I got better and better. You feel me? Because it's just like, you know, I was so like into it, bro. Because the thing is, it was just the people around me. So I was just like, you know, mind you, I was going through shit too at the time. So I was just like, that also influenced me to like go harder in the shit. So I just really got better from there, just with all my peers around me.
Is that kind of where your sound was developed to? Was just what you're going through personally, and then kind of like the outside world around you? Is that where the inspiration for your sound and lyrics come from?
Yeah, that's literally where like all of these things that happen to me, I always put it in my music, because I feel like when I talk to the mic, it's more like something that it's like I'm talking to another person. You feel me? Whether it me being screaming, whether it me rapping, whether it me talking, anything like that. So it's just like I use a lot of my emotions towards my music, because I consider myself an emotional person. Not to say like I'm a bitch or something. It's just more like I just look at myself emotionally, because you gotta think music is energy, music is emotion. So it's like when someone listens to you, it's like, okay, that you feel that shit. You feel me? That's why I said I put all my emotions that I'm feeling in that very moment, and I put it in my music, because I know people are gonna understand it and they will get it. You feel me?
Hell yeah.
So that's why. Yeah.
And these beats that y'all were kind of either freestyling to or recording over, did you produce, or did you have like homies that were producing, or how did that come about?
Nah, we just I just remember niggas was just looking up shit on YouTube, my nigga. And like we was just doing shit, because at the time I didn't know anybody like that. Because you know, when you first start music, when you first start out, you're like at level 0. You feel me? So it's like you gotta kind of like learn everything. You feel me? So I didn't have any producers, none of that shit. I was just looking shit up on YouTube at the time, like all the time, just freestyling with them and shit. And then I just got better overall after that. And then, you know, later on down the line, I found producers, but at that time when I first started, no, I didn't know a damn thing.
Facts. And I know you were just saying like the outside world in your life was really inspiring, the lyrics and the sound and everything, but did you have like an actual, and this is when you were younger too, I'm not talking about your favorite artist now, but who was your favorite or like your biggest inspiration as far as artists go around that time when you were first starting out?
When I first started out, I'll say like definitely it was X. It was X that influenced me a lot.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. that nigga. You feel me? R.I.P. XSX. But he definitely really inspired me like around the music. It was either him or Nas. It was them two. Cause the thing is, X was hard. Like he was a hard nigga. But Nas, he was like that type of nigga where it's like you listen to that nigga be speaking that hot shit. So it's like, you know, cause I always started off with boom bap first, because I feel like if you don't start off with that shit, you can't really learn into the new wave or none of that shit, because you need to learn how to rap in order to even get on the new wave. You feel me? So I started rapping on like boom bap beats. Really, that's why I first started that. That's what me and my homies was doing, bro. I didn't rap on that new shit at the very time, because it was just like, why would I start on the new shit when I gotta start from the beginning? Because the old heads made this shit work. You feel me? They made that shit happen. So I had to start out like that. And I just started learning from there, and really they influenced me. You feel me? So
to capitalize kind of what you're talking about now, as far as Nas helping you learn the boom bap rap style, and to learn the boom bap rap style, it kind of helped you transition into the sound that you have now.
Yeah.
So when you were learning that, was that more for the lyrical flow, or like the lyrics themselves, or what kind of, you know, what exactly were you learning when in this boom bap style?
Really the what I was learning from as far as with lyrics is more on how to get good metaphors. Like I always been that type of person where it's like I like to hear certain metaphors or like comparisons to certain things. You feel me? Because it's like people catch on and shit like that. Like especially if you compare something that's like something they can relate to, they'll be like, oh wait, oh shit, I heard that shit before.
Facts.
Like you feel me? Like that's really what I studied at the time, because it was just like, you know, I just studied a lot of shit like that. Like I was just always that type of nigga where it's like I study like certain type of metaphors or certain lingos when it comes to music, or just certain like characteristics. You feel me?
You're a true student of the game.
Yeah, like a true student. Like, cause the thing is, you gotta be a student first before you can be a teacher. You feel me? And you're a forever student. So I just learned like that, and then I just got better after, you know, learning all that shit. Then I started going into the new way, because once I learned that, bro, it was just like, bro, I can go into anything after that point, because I don't want to just be one artist with just one title of one genre of music. I want to be like a whole subgenre to everybody, because therefore I I'm rated E for everyone to listen to, low key. If you think about it that way, yeah.
So when you first started recording, it was about a year or two after you started like freestyling, and your peers were kind of giving you the encouragement to keep going, keep practicing and stuff like that. What was it like to record your very first song, and what was the kind of initial feedback you got from your peers? I know that your homies you were recording with liked it, but like, what about people outside of the music that were just gonna be like fans or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, alright. So look, my first song actually, it was called Beginning of Me. Yeah, Beginning of Me. And I remember I recorded that shit. It was hard, but the quality was so ass. But the thing is though, I never been that type of nigga to care about quality like 24/7. Like obviously quality is obviously key, but it's quantity over quality. You feel me? I don't know if I said that right, but you know what I'm trying to say. But I always been the type of nigga where it's like, if your shit's hard, your shit's hard. You feel me? Like the song was hard, but it's just like, it wasn't like, you know, because not everyone's first song is going to be good. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, like, I was just the type of nigga where I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to just record that shit. Because I recorded my first song in class, actually. Like,
oh, really?
Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, like, nobody knows that. I don't tell nobody that. Like, as long as I've been out, bro, no one knows that I recorded my first song in class. Like, I guarantee you, I'm probably the first artist to tell you, like, nigga, I recorded my shit in class, bro. No bullshit.
What class was it?
Bro, it was fucking, what was that shit called, bro? I remember it was dealing with, like history or some shit. I remember, I can't remember the exact name, but I remember this teacher, her name was Miss O'Neal and shit. I remember I recorded that shit in class, bro, and I was just chilling. It was my first block, nigga, because I was just like, man, I was tired as fuck, but I was just like, nigga, I want to get my first song done. And I just said, fuck it. I recorded that shit on my phone, and it's called New Beginning of Me. That shit is very rare. If y'all niggas can find that shit, bro, that shit would be crazy, because like I said, bro, sometimes it'd be hard to find my rare music, you feel me? So
did you end up dropping that on like SoundCloud or any streaming platform?
Yeah, I did at one point, but then I had deleted it. I had dropped it on my SoundCloud and my YouTube account.
What was the kind of reaction from everybody once they heard it, though? I know you said like the quality probably wasn't the best, but the song was still, you know, better than the quality, I guess you could say. So what was the initial reaction from like your peers and stuff, maybe in class or in school or whatever the case was?
The most reaction I got out of it was like some people were like, this shit's good, but it's kind of ass at the same time. But then I got people that was like, yo, that shit low-key got potential. Just keep doing it. You feel me? Because it's always that one nigga in class or that one nigga around you that's going to be like, yo, that shit's hard, bro. Like, keep going with that shit. Because you got to think, bro. You start from an ugly stage, and then you move into a new phase. So you kind of got to give it a chance, you feel me? That's why I was just like, I got good reactions and I got bad reactions, right? But I paid attention to both. But them good reactions, they were low-key like telling me like, yo, you need to keep going at this shit. Because you got to think, the universe is always going to work in your favor, you feel me? So I was just like, I just kept going with it because I just felt like it was the main thing that I could really relate to. Because music, I relate to that shit a lot, you feel me? Like, it's like one of those things I really, really relate to. So from there point on, when niggas thought this shit was hard or whatever, and some niggas thought it was ass, I was just like, man, fuck it. If they think it's ass, it's whatever. I'm gonna just keep going with that shit.
You gotta rock with the ones who fuck with you.
Yeah, I said, fuck that shit.
So how long after that first song, and how excited were you to kind of get back in the booth or maybe even record your second song?
My second song, which was fire, it was it's called With a Stare. That shit's still up on my account.
Still out?
That's like sometimes I just tell niggas that's my first song on my SoundCloud account, because low key it kinda is, but not really. But that's like the main song that's like there, like from like when I first started. I recorded that song when I was 15. You feel me? So it's like, it's a good song. You feel me? But like I said though, it's just, you know, just my thing.
Were these still following along kind of like that boom bap style of rap, or were you still in a transition like into a different kind of artistry at that point? Does that make sense?
Nah, it was that song right there, With a Stare. It's like one of those hard songs. It's just like, it's a hard song. Like, I remember, like, the whole hook is fire. Like, she said, I'm very rare, huh? She look at me with a stare, huh? Like, that flow, like, it was like kind of like that X influence at the time, because like I said, when you young, you know, you gotta get influence from somewhere. You feel me? So I started out with that shit, and that shit was just hard. Shout out my nigga Wokley too, cause that nigga on that shit too. You feel me? But yeah, that shit was tough. You feel me? And then nigga, now granted, that song, when niggas heard that shit, they was like, yo, that shit's fire. That shit still got like a couple thousand on my account right now.
That's
like,
what's up, though.
Yeah.
So the initial reaction to that first song, like some people were fucking with it, some weren't. But then the next one, by the time you dropped the second song, most people were kind of on that wave. They were like, all right, this dude's got hella potential.
Yeah. people were just fucking with it after that, and then their point on, I just was growing a fan base after that. It just kept stacking up and stacking up.
I know you mentioned the Twitch streaming outside of music, but what other kind of hobbies were you doing at the time, or was music and kind of Twitch, I guess, your sole focus, or probably just music, I guess, at this point? Or did you have anything else you were doing outside of that?
Honestly, bro, I was fighting all the time because, like I said, Charlotte, nigga, bro, if you're from Charlotte, nigga, you already know niggas stay fighting all the time. From the time I was in elementary school, by the time I was in middle school, and my first year of high school, even though I didn't go to high school my freshman year, I had kind of dropped out. I was fighting all the time, all the fucking time. Even to this day, sometimes I still fight, but not all the time. I kind of chilled out now because it's like, you know, I'm older now, so it's just like I gotta be more wise of like who I pick my battles with. You feel me? But at that time, I just liked it fighting, and then after that, I just liked it going outside with my friends, and what else I used to do, and just go out and just do dumb shit. I ain't gonna lie, like I was just wild.
Do you feel like now that you've kind of like chilled out on the fighting stuff, do you feel like putting some of that energy maybe into music has kind of helped, or do you think music is kind of a release for that?
Fuck yeah, of course, bro. Bro, I tell you now, bro, most of my angry and belligerent shit, it came from that, and it came from me being in certain places that just made me angry, bro. Because it's like, the thing is with me, bro, like, I don't want to consider myself I have an anger problem. It's more like I'm ruthless, you feel me? I have ruthless aggression. So it's like, I take that energy and then I put it into my music because I know kids are going to relate to that. Because you got kids nowadays that don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to control their insides, you feel me? And that's why I say I want to be one of those people that have that music there so people can understand that, like, okay, this guy went through it just like I'm going through it right now, you feel me? That's why my music sounds like that. Because I wanted to sound like something that's going to influence other kids to, like, you know, like, to learn a certain thing about themselves. Like, for example, like I said, my anger, like, they're gonna learn that shit and they're gonna be like, oh wow, like, this nigga is low-key related to me, like, he kind of relates to me, you feel me? Because they're gonna feel that shit, you feel me? Because like I said, music is emotion, music is power. If we didn't have music, the world wouldn't be shit without music, you feel me? So when they hear that shit, it's like, okay, this guy relates to me. And that's how I get a lot of people to follow me, because it's like, you know, I relate to people. Because if your music not relatable, then no one's not gonna listen to you.
For sure.
So that's why I said, when I make shit like that, not even just angry shit, I make other shit too. But, like, mostly people caught on to that shit, like that hard shit, that hard sound, that hard 808 shit. Niggas relate to that shit.
Well, it's crazy that you mentioned that, too, because, I mean, obviously, like, the happier songs, they have a certain feel for people and do their own numbers in their own right. But I feel like the sad songs and the angry songs honestly do the best as far as success goes, and they resonate with fans the best as well, because that's the real emotion people want to feel. Like, you're not happy all the time, bro.
Yeah, you're not.
No matter who you are. Like, I don't care how much money you have or what kind of girl you got, whatever your situation is, you're not happy all the time, bro.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
like, I think those more emotional tracks, whether it's anger or sadness or whatever the case is, I feel like those resonate the best with fans.
Of course.
So, you had dropped those two initial tracks when you were about 15?
Yeah, I was 14 when I made Beginning of Me, and then I was 15 when I made With a Stare.
Okay, so at this point, were you putting any sort of like marketing or anything into the music, or you were just kind of dropping it and letting it kind of do its own thing?
Honestly, bro, I was just dropping shit because I didn't learn nothing about marketing until like months later. I didn't learn shit. That's why I said, like, bro, like, when you make music, like, when you first starting out, you're low-key a fucking noob, bro. You feel me? So it's like,
for sure,
you don't know shit. You feel me? So, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, we all learn things new. So I was just like, I didn't learn nothing about promotion until like later type shit. You feel me? So I was just like, I just was like learning shit. Like around a few months later, then I started getting in promotion and shit like that. I started like hitting niggas up, like bigger niggas, and like be like, yo, can you like post this like on your, like, repost it? Cause you know I would do SoundCloud reposts.
Yeah. And
like I remember, like, later down the line, when I really started getting better at it, was I dropped this song called "I Walked In" and "Devil May Cry" with my nigga Edto. Shouts out my nigga Edto too. We had got this one artist. His name was like 13 Delore, and he had reposted "I Walked In," and that shit started going crazy, bro. I was like, wow. I was like, oh wow, this shit's coming together. And then that's why I was just like, okay, I know what I need to do as far as promotion. I just started getting better with that shit, and other things I'll do will, I'll put like, you know like them anime AMVs and shit like niggas would do. Yeah, I'll get shit like that too, and like have niggas put my shit up there and shit like that. And that helps a lot too.
So it sounds like at this time too, you were kind of sort of building maybe a team in a sense around you, more of a support group in a sense as well.
Yeah.
Were those people that kind of started with you at the beginning, or were you kind of moving on from them and just kind of forming new relationships with people in music at that point?
Well, I'll tell you this. So by the time like I was changing and evolving, like from Winter Stare to like other songs, I didn't hang out with those friends anymore because I was getting bigger than them. Not to say I pushed them away. It's just that, you know, I just started growing. And then not to mention, when I made Winter Stare, I wasn't even in Charlotte. I was actually in Winston-Salem when I made Beginning of Me. I was in Charlotte, and then I went back to Winston-Salem, and then I came back to Charlotte because, remind you, I didn't stay in Charlotte the whole time. I moved back and forth, and now I'm officially like straight in Charlotte. You feel me? And at that time, I just didn't like. I don't want to say like I fucking closed them off. I just started evolving. You feel me? And when the niggas not evolving at your rate, you're gonna low key like kind of like cut them off, not intentionally.
You outgrow them in a sense.
Yeah, you outgrow them. Like I remember when I really started forming, you know, new relationships with people. Like I said, my nigga Ed. So like I remember when I first met that nigga. That was like that. Remind you, that's one of my main niggas. Like I fought with. Like I literally make a lot of songs with him. And I remember I met him on SoundCloud one day, and it was back in 2020. I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, what's up, bro? I fuck with your shit." I remember I heard this song by him called "Where Your Mom At," and basically I hit him up from there. And then he was just like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't talk that much at the time, but by the time 2022 came around, we started talking, and he just listened to me. He was like, "Yo, your shit's hard, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? We just started talking and shit. And then I remember I met him at my first show, and when I met him at my first show, that's when, you know, we started, like, the bond just started coming in together, and we just started going crazy. Like, our first song together really, like, we had a song before that, but we took it down. Our first song we ever recorded was, it was Black Ice. And that's when niggas really started fucking with us, bro. Like, niggas all over Charlotte was like, "Yo, this shit's hard. That shit is fucking crazy." Like, that shit hit like 1,000 in like less than a week, my nigga. Like, that song was just crazy. And I didn't even drop it on all platforms yet either. This was strictly SoundCloud. That shit hit 1,000 in like less than a week, my nigga. Because I was already in the algorithm, and the song was just hella hard. You feel me? Remind you, my nigga, we recorded that shit in my brother's room. You feel me? So it was already like crazy the way we did it, because he just came over and we just recorded that shit. And that shit was just like crazy. And then that's when we started forming new relationships, getting hella shows and shit like that. Remind you, we in a group now called NC18. Shouts out NC18 too. But you know what I'm saying? That's the main niggas I fought with right now.
For sure. So we actually just had Ayatoshi on the last episode. So if you haven't seen his episode, y'all go stream that. But yeah, so you were about 2020. How old were you at that time?
So I was, I think I had just turned 16 at the time.
Facts. And that was when you hit up Ayatoshi and y'all kind of collabed?
Yeah, I hit him up, and like I said, I hit him up on SoundCloud, and we just linked up at our first show. Like, remind you, I didn't even know I was gonna make it though, cause it's crazy how I came. I came in a fucking truck, my nigga. Like, I came in my stepdad's truck to get there. And remind you, it wasn't even like a venue. It was a house party, right? And the shit was lit. Like, you can still look at the videos, bro. They're still over on the internet and shit. Like, you can still look them shits up. I just remember I just seen them, and I was just like, "Oh shit, that's what you look like." We dabbed the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? We were just flicking up, and then we just performed our songs and shit. And at the time, he had this one song called "Don't Touch Me, Fuckboy," and I was like, "Yo, that shit's tough, low key." And that shit had like what, like 4,000 at the time when I seen it, because I remind you, I had just dropped another song called "Cardiac Arrest," and we performed them two songs. And those shits went crazy. We were just vibing at that show, bro. The show was so fun, bro. Like, so much crazy shit.
Were you shooting any videos for those first couple songs, like music videos?
No. At that time, no. I didn't shoot a music video until around 2023. Like.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Bet. So this is actually a decent stopping point. We're gonna take a quick break, change these batteries, word from the sponsors, and we'll be right back, folks.
Hell yeah, gang shit, boy.
All right, welcome back, y'all. We just had a word from our sponsors, and we are back with Lonner, and we left off at a good transitional point because you were speaking about dropping a bunch of songs on SoundCloud and stuff like that, and I wanted to ask you what the internet kind of meant to you and your generation, because in my generation, it didn't really come along as like far as SoundCloud and that kind of stuff, and the easy access for independent artists to kind of be able to push their stuff out there. It didn't really come along for me until we were like 16, 17. So I think pretty much since you started making music, that was kind of always a realm that you could dive into. So speak on the internet a little bit and how important that was just to be an artist up and coming.
Well, basically, as far as the internet, bro, I used it as like a gateway to really like let my music out there. Cause the thing is, like, when I first was recording and shit, I didn't really know about SoundCloud that much, but I started learning about it, and like I started learning about algorithms, cause I feel like people don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like, when you're in the algorithm of SoundCloud and you're like connected to certain similar genres that other people like listen to and shit like that, like with other artists and shit, you start to grow a fan base like that, because if it's similar artists that you're connected with that have similar music to you, then you're gonna grow. You feel me? And that's why I was just like, I'm gonna use that to my advantage, because at the end of the day, I want to get big, right? That's the whole goal, right? And like I said, I would like, for example, like Anto for a good example, because we make similar music. Like, I would collab with him, or not even collab with him. I would just make similar music to him, and his fans will just come to me. And what they'll do, they will fuck with my shit, and they'll start liking my shit, and having the algorithm go up. Meaning, like, it's gonna be recommended. Like for example, like when we dropped Black Ice, right? That song was recommended to other people. So they seen that shit, and it was like, yo, that shit's hard. Then those niggas will start reposting it, liking it, commenting on all that shit, right? And that's how I use the internet. You feel me? It's not even just SoundCloud, other things too, like my Instagram too. It would just bring a whole gathering of people because of the algorithm. You have to what's the word? You have to really just know like what certain people you're targeting, and once you know that, then you'll be able to just blast off like a rocket and just go. Like,
you use TikTok or anything like that too?
Sometimes I have other people do it, because the thing is, like, I feel like people get fucked up with that, because I feel like people think like, oh, you gotta record yourself and do that. You don't have to do that. You can, but you don't have to. You can literally get other people that are bigger than you, or like they'll have a bigger platform. You just, first of all, I feel like people will be scared to talk to certain people that are bigger than you, but that's not the case. Not everyone's Hollywood, bro. You feel me? You have to try. Either you try or you don't, because at the end of the day, you have to sacrifice something, right, in order for you to get what you want. For sure. You feel me? So that's why I said I would talk to other people, or like specifically girls, because girls, like on the TikTok algorithm, they rule that shit. I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck what no nigga talking about. Females on TikTok, they rule that shit.
Damn, they rule Instagram too, for real.
I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas talking about, bro. Certain girls I would talk to, like I'll be cool with, I'll be like, yo, you think you can use my song as like a TikTok reel or some shit? And they'll be like, sure. And then, I'll just get on TikTok, and then other people will see it, and then she might have like a link or some shit underneath it, and then she'll just go to my shit. And then, everybody will see it and be like, oh, that's that song. Because, it gotta be something catchy, too. Because, you feel me? If it's catchy on the TikTok, they're going to be like, where the fuck is that song at? Yeah. Then they're going to go look for it. You feel me? And that's why I said I do, but I don't. It's very rare for me to, like, post myself on TikTok all the time. Unless it's, like, some crazy shit. Yeah. You feel me? But, like I said, I use other people to do that for me. Because not everything you got to do all by yourself.
No, for sure. And that's, like, it's so crazy to hear, like, a younger person talk about the internet and how much insight you already have on it at such a young age. Because, bro, I can tell you at 16, 17, I did not know what an algorithm was for like the internet, bro. Like that shit didn't make no sense to me. The thing for me when we were growing up was like hashtags, and I know that still plays a part into it now, but I at the time I wouldn't have even looked at it like how you were saying with TikTok, getting someone who already has an established following, whether it's a really attractive girl or whatever the case is, and using your song and her video. Yeah. That's something my generation we just probably wouldn't have really thought about, to be honest. So
it's just because it's a new wave. Nah, I mean, like I said, I don't even judge that generation, because at the end of the day, I feel like my thing is this, bro. The internet can be good and it can be bad at the same time. Because I feel like some niggas will use it in a good advantage, but some niggas will use it in a bad advantage. Like, I feel like some niggas, like, look up the wrong shit, or, like, they just be on the internet too much. Because, remind you, bro, the internet runs this whole world. It runs everything. You feel me? Even music is, like, the most influential thing in this world right now, right? Like, we got Sexy Red. We got fucking Drake with his bullshit. We got fucking what else we fucking got? We got fucking Cardi B. Like, we have all these fucking celebrities. They rule everything. But you know what people do on the internet? They'll look at them, and they'll, like, as far as like normal people, right? They'll look at them and put them on a pedestal, and they'll be like, damn, bro, I'm not even up like that. Like, I want to be like that. And then they'll just have some sort of sympathy for themselves, where it's just like they feel like they don't got enough, or they feel like, they don't have everything. That's why I said it's a good thing, and it could be a bad thing, because, people will put people on the pedestals, which when they already have it versus the next nigga. You feel me? That's why I just be like, bro, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. You just need to know how to utilize it.
Dude, you're speaking facts right now. Kudos. You're really giving you your flowers. You're a very, very intelligent dude. I'll give that to you. You're very smart.
Thank you.
To touch more on like the actual music that you were dropping from about 14 to around like 2023, even last year. So, were these all singles, or did you have any projects like an LP, mixtape, album, anything like that had dropped, or were these all kind of like just singles?
So like around the first beginning of how I first started, I didn't have any EPs. I had scrapped EPs though. I had EPs that were scrapped, and I just never finished it. Like I remember I had this one EP called November, like it was named after my birthday. I actually have a song called November 5th that was supposed to be on it. Like certain songs that's on my account, they're actually supposed to be on EPs, but they're scrapped. So like, you know, they're gone. But they were on the internet at one point, but I just scrapped them, you feel me? So I did have EPs, but I just never like got the chance to release them. My only EP that's out on right now is Crystal Castle.
Okay.
That's the only EP I got. And I got mixtapes coming out this year, but I don't have any like EPs that's like out right now. Like the only thing you could really find like older things about me or like certain EPs is whether it be like, what I used to do is I used to like have like pictures of like what's gonna be on certain tapes before they even come out, and like people can find like different pictures of like, you know, shit that I used to take and be like, yo, this is an EP that I'm gonna have come out, but I never came out with it. So people can like literally go find that shit. They just have to go deep through the internet to go look at it.
They gotta be true fans.
Yeah, they gotta be true to know it. You feel me? Cause I would do that shit on my gram and shit all the time. Like I said, bro, I just didn't do it. Cause like I said, bro, I was struggling a lot to put certain shit out. I used to be, bro. As a matter of fact, like people don't notice, I used to be one of those people where it's like, I would want to drop something, but then I'll be scared to drop it. Like I literally used to be one of those people. Like people do not know that about me. Like I don't even reveal that to people. Like, I used to be scared to drop shit at one point. Like I wouldn't even want to like do it. Like it'll be so good, but I just wouldn't do it because it'll be like, nah, I want to get better. But I mean, it works in your favor. But I just feel like if it's good, just drop it, bro. You feel me? Like I would just drop and delete shit. All right. And that's why people get mad at me for it.
Well, to talk about you kind of hesitating to drop some of your stuff, what is your like recording process like, or how do you get? So do you have the lyrics already in mind before you hear a beat, and then when you hear the beat, you're like, oh, this song is gonna go with this, or do you hear a beat and then the lyrics kind of start formulating in your head, or like what's your kind of process like? Yeah,
like basically, like if I hear something, right? Because the thing is, I'm very very picky on what I choose and what I put out, because like I said, bro, I don't want my music to sound like any fucking like shit or anything like that. I don't want it to sound ass and none of that shit. So it's just like, if that shit is good, I'll immediately write to it, bro. Like if it's that good, if that's that damn good, then I'll just freestyle to it. You feel me? And then I'll just record it, and then boom, you got a song.
And when you're freestyling, do you actually keep this? Because when some people do the freestyle instead of writing, they do, you know, like a couple, like 16 bars over an instrumental, and then they'll get their flow maybe and kind of the idea of what they want to say, and then they go back and kind of refine it. Is that kind of what you do when you're doing the freestyle stuff, or you just kind of keep?
No, I just go through the whole thing.
Facts.
Like, cause it's like, bro,
that's some Lil Wayne shit right there.
Yeah, I don't get the point where it's like, bro. Like, my nigga, if I'm already recording, nigga, I'm not going to stop. I might get a sip of water or two or some shit, but I'm not finna stop, bro.
It's gonna ruin your whole flow for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause it's like I know y'all can relate to this, bro. When you have a momentum of like, yo, like this shit is going crazy right now. Like you recording, bro, and that shit's already sounding hard, nigga. You're not gonna want to stop. You're not going to want to. So I don't see the point of me stopping. So that's why I just keep flowing, because it's like, fuck that shit, nigga. Just keep recording that shit. Once you get that shit done, you're gonna be proud of yourself. That damn, you made that shit. You feel me?
Do you write like outside of beats, like even if you can consider it poetry in a sense, but do you write anything without music?
I have at some points. When I was in the mental hospital, I used to like, when I like, you know, because I used to go through a lot of shit at that time. I remember like I didn't have anything, like I didn't even have my laptop because it was taken from me, and then my laptop had broke. So all I had was my phone and shit. But I didn't really even be on that. Like I just like write sometimes and just think of like certain new ideas that I would do, and then I just go listen to a beat and I'll be like, wait, that shit's hard. Like there's multiple ways I can record. Yeah. Bro. Multiple fucking ways. Like I've done shit like that too. I can make music without a beat, and then once I find a beat, I could just do it like that. But that's only if I don't have anything though. But if I have something around me, I'm gonna look for a beat first.
And besides like your musical inspiration and inspiration in your personal life, do you have anybody outside of music that you kind of look up to as inspiration?
I say, like I said, Edito, or like my friends, just SCAT.
The homies.
Yeah, I look up to them. I mean, the thing is, bro, I know people will be like, yo, you look up to your mom or you look up to your dad, and I'll be like, yeah, I do, but it's just not like something that just hits hard, because you gotta think, they're with you, but they're not with you when you're in the real world.
For
you
sure.
Feel me? So it's like you only got the people that surround you when you outside. You feel me? So I look up to them because they taught me certain things I know outside. You feel me? So it's just like, remind you, if you're gonna be a man, you know, you have to go out, step out the door in order for you to learn shit. You feel me? And like I said, I'm not done learning. I'm a forever student. Remind you, I said that. So I will learn from them, and they'll just teach me shit outside of my house, and like I just learned from them, really. That's who I really look up to with my brothers. That's what I call them, NC-18 shit. All the time.
Shout out NC-18, bro.
Yeah, NC-18, bro. Gang, no children under 18.
That's lit. You say that, bro. Like it's so cool to hear. Like I said, just the younger crowd like looking up to their friends at such a young age. Because honestly, when I was your age, I honestly looked up to my friends more than I looked up to, like you said, your parents or your mom, dad, whatever the case is. Because they're with you, learning life at the same time as you. So
yeah,
shout out to the homies that's been there from the beginning.
Word, G shit.
I do want to talk about where your name came from because it's 141 Lonner.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. Where'd that come from?
So all right. So basically, Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how it happened. Like I said, everything started when I was 15 years old. I know I keep saying that, but it's so true. Like that number is just, I don't know, bro. Like basically, when I was in the kitchen, right? Because I remember my first name actually used to be Takayo, right? That was like, it was like a Japanese name, and like, you know, it was
for like your artist name.
Yeah, at the time, because I used to watch Tokyo Ghoul all the time, and I remember I just named it Takayo because I didn't want to be named Tokyo because, you know, Tokyo's Revenge. Shout out Tokyo's Revenge. Even though he, you know, we know what he did, but we ain't gonna talk about it. But yeah, and I was just like, nah, fuck that shit. I want something different. So what I did is I was sitting down at my table, and I remember I was on my laptop. I was just looking up shit, and I remember I had like a vivid, like I went to sleep when I was on my laptop, and I had a dream where it was just like, not even a dream, more like a flashback of my childhood.
Like a vision in a sense.
Yeah, and it was like the universe telling me like, relate this to this, you feel me? And like I just came up with the word loner, right? Because I remember like not in a bad way, because some people would be like, oh, so you're a loner? No, that's not what that means, you feel me? Like it just comes from my background when I was a kid. Like, bro, I used to be an independent person. I used to be that type of nigga where it's just like, you know, I did everything on my own, and I feel like niggas ain't know shit about me, you feel me? They ain't know shit. So I was just by myself, so it just came from loner, you feel me? And that just it just made sense, because I always been that type of nigga where it's like, if you're willing to judge me, then I'm gonna ask you what you know about me. What the fuck do you know? You feel me? So I ask you, that's the first question I ask you. So that's where loner came from. And then 141, that came from just me thinking. It just came to me, I guess. Like it just dead ass came to me. And I just remember I put 2 and 2 together, and it just created 141 Loner. And the whole meaning behind it is, it means New Foundation Revolution. And what that means, it just means that basically what it means is just I'm the next influence for the next generation. Like basically, I'm the new foundation for the next wave. You feel me? Basically inspiring the new kids that's coming up before me.
That's what's up, bro.
My bad, I didn't mean to stutter, but you get what I'm saying.
Nah, you good. And I like to hear about like the background of names too, because everyone has a different, you know, tale of how they came about with their name. And some people it just comes to them or whatever the case is. But it sounds like for you, it's kind of like, and this is going to lead into my next question, but it sounds like you're kind of trusting, I don't want to call it like a gut feeling, but you're kind of taking these signs that the universe are sending you, and you're just going with those. So talk about that. Do you believe that everything actually does happen for a reason? Do you believe in like spirituality, higher power? Like, do you feel like that all kind of affects you here on this earth, or what's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
I mean, everything happens for a reason. Think about it. We're here right now. You feel me? So it's like, you gotta think everything specifically happens for a reason. Like this is actually a good example, actually. A good example. So basically, before I came here, I was at my house, and we was gonna reschedule this whole fucking thing, and I was just like, damn, bro, fuck, I'm gonna just reschedule. But you even said like, yo, like he can come at like 3:40 or so, and I was like, that's the universe calling me. So it's like I need to come. You feel me? Because everything will align itself if you align with it. You feel me? Because the thing is, nothing's gonna be given to you unless you work for it. Because I feel like people get that fucking like mixed up. Because I feel like at the end of the day, like if you're working towards something, you don't gotta overdo it, but actually work. Because what it's gonna do? Because the thing is, people say chase your dreams, right? You're not supposed to do that. Remind you, I'm about to give y'all some game. You're not supposed to chase your dreams. What you're supposed to do, instead of chasing your dreams, you're supposed to not entirely follow, but let it align itself with you. Because the thing is, if you already have, the day you woke up, let's just say, if you want to be a painter or you want to make a new clothing brand, the day you woke up is the day that you're going to be famous, the day that you're going to inspire a whole bunch of people to buy your shit, whether you're a fucking rapper, they fucking listen to you, or they look at your art. That shit is all going to align. Because the thing is, when you work for your shit and you actually like put in the work, all the universe is just going to grant that shit to you. And that's what we call results. You feel me? And that's why I said, bro, don't chase your dreams. just align yourself with the shit. You feel me? Because nothing, like I said, nothing's not gonna come to you unless you don't work for it. You feel me? Because the thing is, it will come if you just align yourself with it. Like basically what I'm saying is like if I'm gonna just say a rapper, a regular rapper, right? If that nigga's recording and putting a lot of time into his shit, he's not overdoing it. He's not chasing his dream because it's just like think about life being your bitch, right? If it's your bitch, bro. It's like think about it, cause this is real shit, bro. If you're chasing a girl constantly, but she do like you, but you're chasing her, that bitch is gonna run away. Yeah. That bitch is not coming back for you, bro. If now, granted, now you're putting the work where you're talking to her, but you're not overdoing it. That bitch is gonna want to come to you because you're aligning yourself with her, right? Because you gotta think, bro. It's about attraction too. That's also another thing. Law of the universe is all about attraction, right? So what is it gonna do? She's gonna come to you because she sees that you're talking to her, but you're not overdoing it. What we call thirsty, right? Same thing with your fucking goals, right? Don't be too thirsty. Still work to it, but don't be fucking thirsty. That's why. Available. That's what I'm saying. That's why everything comes to me genuinely. I don't fucking have to work and my whole ass off, but I still work. I still work on music. I still go to shows. I do everything. I do interviews, but everything comes to me genuinely because I don't chase it, right? I'm not thirsty for it. Because at the end of the day, it's already came to me. Because you got to think about it. If you already have it, it's already yours. You feel me? Thanks. So that's what I tell people that. But I feel like people get it fucked up where they feel like they have to follow your dreams, follow your goals, chase your shit. Bro, fuck that bullshit, nigga. That shit ain't never gonna work if you don't fucking just align yourself with it.
That's really well said, bro. You did this. You mentioned shows, like you still do shows. So I do want to touch back on that because I haven't asked you about that. Yeah. How long after your first song did you do your first show? How intimidating, how excited and stuff were you for that first show? And also, second question is, what do you like better, performing or recording, like the actual process of making the song?
That's a good-ass question. I'm glad you asked me that.
So let's start with the first show that you did, though. Let's start with that. When was that?
That was February, I think 23rd or 25th of 2022. It was
Now, how excited, or were you nervous, or like what were your thoughts leading up to that?
Nah, I wasn't nervous. I was fucking amazed, bro. I was like, bro, that shit was fucking hard, bro. Bro, this is gonna be crazy. So I'm about to talk about some crazy ass shit, bro. So look, right? Boom, we get there. I'm with Ed, so I see that nigga. We were performing. That shit was crazy, bro. We had everybody turned in that bitch. It was to the point niggas was looking at us and being like, yo, these niggas hard. Like, it was like a house party, but it was over a fence. So it was like a lot of people there, but it was like a whole fence area. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was a fence, but it was like kind of like a stage kind of in a way. And
it was at a house, or was this in like a backyard?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like a backyard type shit. And we were just going crazy. That shit was just... It was honestly turned, bro. Like, I had every nigga turned, bro. It was just fucking...
How many people were performing and how many songs did y'all do?
It was only 4. It was me and Eto, and then it was these 2 other niggas. I remember this nigga named Sauce God, and then it was my other friend, his name Omar. And they were performing too, and it was low-key dope, bro. Like, it was low-key fire. And I just remember that whole night. Like, this is where it gets crazy, right? After the show, right, we had these 2 girls. And one of them was Edso's girl, but one of them was just one of the girls I was fucking with. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not gonna do that because that's just fucked up, right? So this one girl, we was just chilling. We took some pictures, right? Because she didn't want to take pictures with me because she thought the show was tough. And remind you, she met me on SoundCloud and on my Instagram. So we was just in the back, just cooling and shit. And remind you, this is my first show. So me and her in the back, we just cooling. Edso dips and he go home. I'm with Shorty. We was just going crazy in the back, and like I get my dick sucked on literally like my first show. I get my dick sucked and everything, bro. Like, and you know it's crazy, bro. I use it as a cover art for one of my songs I did with Eric.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
You better ask that dog, bro. That shit was crazy, bro. That's another thing. Now, granted, I'm not promoting this shit, right? But at the same time, that shit does work. That does work. If you promote certain things, like when it comes to that, because like I said, she was sucking my dick, right? And I put her as a cover art as one of my songs. That also made the shit went viral too. Like, you feel me? Like, doing certain shit, like, you know, whether it be out of tense or like something that most people wouldn't do, that shit can get you up. You feel me? And at that time, once I put it on the fucking cover, because I changed it later down the line, but when there's actually a screenshot of that shit. I don't know if I can find it, but it was a screenshot of this shit. And someone was like, yo, this shit, it was at like 200 plays at the time. That's how you knew this shit was going up off the rip. But she was a cover art. And she seen that shit. She was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, bro, you know, I'm not even going to say nothing about it. Not to mention the fact that shit was on Twitter, too. I was like, bro.
That's where we was talking about earlier. The internet can be
yes, bro.
pros and cons.
I'm telling you, bro. The internet is fucking crazy, bro. I'm telling you, bro. If you know how to fucking use that shit, you don't gotta worry about shit.
So it sounds like that first show, I would say it's pretty successful. Based off of that story, that's pretty good first show, I would say. So, but let's talk about more about the show experience then too. Not even just that one show, but like, what's your favorite? Do you like the actual process of recording and making the art and the song or whatever the case is that you're working on, or do you like performing better?
That's a good question, bro. I love the art, right? I love the art of recording, but I honestly, bro, I want to say shows just because of how crazy my shows are. You feel me? Because the thing is, when it comes to my shows, it's like, I make people do certain things they wouldn't do at other shows. Like I will make, like, bro, I remember this one show I went to. I was like, yo, turn all y'all lights on, right? It was at this place. Excuse me. It was at the place called The Bridge, and I remember I said, turn on all y'all lights, and I was like, fuck this. I'm about to get on top of this nigga's shoulders right now. I got on top of his shoulders, and I told everyone, come up front, and we about to go fucking crazy. Niggas was just wilding. It was a song called Devil May Cry, and me and Ed was performing that shit. We was loud as fucking, their bass boosting and everything. And then I got off of bro's shoulders, and then once the hook came on, bro, I jumped off the stage and I just started moshing with everybody, bro. And that was like probably my favorite moments. That's not the only favorite moment, but that was probably my favorite moment. That was back in August, actually.
Isn't it crazy? Well, you being an artist is a little bit different than me when I'm DJing on stage, because you're obviously the very center of attention. But even when I'm MCing or just giving my shout outs on the mic, the power you have when you have that microphone and that whole crowd's out there,
it's like
that energy, man, dude, it's insane. It's such a crazy power to have.
Yeah, bro, hell yeah, bro.
And it's cool that you've already experienced that at such a young age. So to transition into like where we're at now, what are your kind of plans for 2024 and your goals for the future?
2024, honestly, God, I want to say that everything. I'm not going to predict entirely everything, but I will say that there's going to be a major change with this music shit that I'm putting out. All these tapes that I got, all this fucking music, all these shows that I got, bro. Once they see that shit, y'all gonna see it. I ain't gonna say everything, because like I said, bro, I don't tell everybody what I'm doing. You feel me? I just don't personally tell everybody, because I'd rather you see it rather than me telling you. Because if I just tell you, then it's just like, oh, we already know what this nigga gonna do. You feel me? It's boring. I like to be entertaining. I don't like to tell people what I entirely like to do. So I ain't gonna really tell the camera too much what I'm finna do.
Facts.
But I will say this: 2024, you're gonna see some things. You feel me? You're gonna see some shit going up. You feel me? I ain't gonna be no chump boy, little piece of shit. None of that shit, nigga. It's gonna be turned the fuck out all year, NCAA team, all that shit, bro. I ain't even gonna say too much, because like I said, I don't like to tell people what I do. I'd rather just show you than tell you.
All right, well, bet. So if we don't want to talk too much about that, then what about 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? Do you still see yourself doing music 10 years from now? You want to dabble in something else, fashion, more streaming stuff, or where do you see yourself going in 10 years?
In 10 years, honestly.
Because how old are you now? 17?
No, 18.
18, so you'll be 28. So where do you see 28-year-old Lonner?
Man, honestly, bro. Like, I'm just, honestly, bro, what I want to say is I'm just big. I just influence a lot of people. Like, you feel me? Like, I don't know. Like, I just know that by the time, around that time, I just influenced so many people that it's just going to be outrageous. And, like, people are just going to really look up to me. Even kids, like, even toddlers, like, they're just going to look up to me and be like, damn, like, this nigga really, like, showed me the way of doing certain things. You feel me? Whether it's me acting out, whether it's me talking to the crowd, giving the speeches, whether it's me talking the way I'm talking to you right now, it's just shit like that. It influences the world, you feel me? And when you influence the world, you have yourself an army, you have yourself a cult.
For sure.
So it's like I said, where I see myself in 10 years, really just inspiring everybody to be the best they can be possible. Even as an artist, whether me being as a person, characteristics changes, all that shit.
Facts.
So really, I'm just inspiring the world, because if you can't inspire the world, then what are you?
Well, you dropping some dimes right here, bro. I got one final question for you, and this is for people who really haven't even heard your music or maybe don't know who you are yet. Notice as I said yet, because I do have a lot of faith that people are going to know, especially at the end of this year, they're definitely going to know who you are in this area for sure.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your sound to someone who has never heard you, or your style of music to someone who's never heard you, to maybe even want to get them to listen to you?
Honestly,
And I know earlier you were talking about you don't want to be categorized under no certain genre or anything like that, which is totally understandable. But like, if someone came up to you and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I make music," and they're like, "All right, well, what does it sound like?" How would you describe that to them?
Honestly, bro, the word I can say, right, is fucking insane. Literally, that's the best. That's the best way I can explain it. It's just fucking insane. And if they want to say like, you know, what's like the, you know, when it comes to like certain like genres that's combined into it, because I'm like I said, I'm not one genre, I'm a subgenre. I would tell them straight up like it's alternative, hard 808s. You feel me? Whether if it's a hard song, just tell them straight up it's hard 808s. It's just hard as fuck. Cause I can't really explain to you, cause that's what I mean. Like I can just tell you it's fucking insane. Like you just have to listen to it. You feel me? You can compare me however you want, but everyone's ears is different. So it's just like I'm just going to tell you straight up that shit is crazy. That shit is just alternative. Like really, that's the best way I can really put it. And you know what I'm saying? If a nigga want to listen to it, it's like here, go ahead. Nigga hear that shit? It's the same. There you go. Now when it comes to me being emotional, then it's like I'm gonna tell you straight up, like it's one of those emotional songs where you're gonna listen to, and it's just like you're gonna really feel the wrath of like how it sounds, like whether it's me doing rock, whether it's me singing, whether it's me rapping, any of that shit. You feel me? Because I can be emotional in multiple ways, not just rapping. I can sing, I could fucking scream, I could do all that shit, like all that shit. You like when it comes to emotional base, it can go from any means necessary. I could rap and do anything.
That's what's up, bro. And I'm like I said, I'm super excited for the future. It's so dope to see such a young generation have so much insight, not only on themselves but about the world around them. Yeah. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man. Shout out to Lonner, shout out to Lost Records too, shout out to Constantine for putting this all together. Did you want to shout out anybody else one more time before we sign off?
Shouts out fucking SC18, nigga, on gang, nigga. Fuck y'all niggas talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? Lost Records and this bitch, nigga. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. Shouts out my nigga Ani, shouts out my nigga Cedar, shouts out my nigga Eclipse Sex Tape. Shouts out all y'all niggas, bro. Y'all my niggas for real. Gang shit, bro. Appreciate y'all. Gang.
Thanks. All right, well, this has been episode 19 of Podheads with 141 Lonner. Like I said, man, I'm super excited for your future, and I speak for not only myself, but everyone who's probably watching. We're really excited to see where you go and where you grow to. So thank you once again. Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed. Peace.